So I'm just gonna put in a little disclaimer regarding people's feelings towards the last video. When I do a story time, it is something that has already happened in the past, and if I'm not making anything up, there's no point in me to make something up. So if you are someone that's in the story and it looks negative on you, then you shouldn't have done it. But it's like, I'm not talking bad about you, I'm saying what happened. So if someone thinks I'm talking bad about them in one of my story times, then maybe you just have to think about that and said, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Like, it's not that big a deal. And also, this story happened like a year and a half ago. Everyone's over it. I've been friends with everyone else for the majority of the part. Like, we've gotten over any negative feelings. I'm friends with Nick. So for all of you people that texted him and told him I posted a story about him, it wasn't necessarily about him. And you don't need to butt into my relationship with my ex-boyfriend, because I have a relationship with his whole family. I'm still close with them. And people feeling the need that they need to insert and say I was shit talking them. No, I wasn't. Nick and I got over our stuff. He knows what he did wrong. I know what I did wrong. We're cool. So everyone can stop. And yes, so mind your own business and stop acting like you're in high school still. Thanks. So he goes the fuck off. And then as we're sitting out front, fucking Sarah's brother comes home. And we knew he was gonna come home and he wouldn't care, because the family all drinks together, and the girls there, everyone knew, we're all friends, and there were 3 guys. We all knew the brother wouldn't care. The car pulls up to Nick's car, and someone gets out, and I'm I know this is not her brother. And someone gets out and knocks on the window and was is there a party going on here? And I was no, there's just a few of us are hanging out. There's literally maybe 5 or 6 people. It just looks like a lot, because I think all of us drove. So there were 6 cars there. And so he was well, everyone needs to leave, blah, 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 blah. And I was okay. And so I go to call them. And before I could, Nick's okay, we'll leave. And just zooms out. And I was no, I'm not leaving with you. First of all my friends are back there. All my stuff's back there. Let me out of this fucking car. I don't want to be with you. And he wouldn't let me out of the car. And he just keeps driving and drives for a good 5 minutes. Far as hell as I'm screaming at him. I was let me the fuck out. He's no, 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 no. And so he lets me, he goes to the stop sign, which is far as fuck away from her house. And he's stops the car, and he's okay, you can get out now. And I was excuse me? What? And so I put one foot out of the door to get out. So one foot is on the ground, the rest of my body is in the car, my other foot's in the car, and he just speeds off. So I fall out of the car, and there's a huge ass ditch next to me. So I'm trying not to be in the road, since it's 12:30 at night, pitch black. So I'm walking in a ditch, I'm calling Maddie, and I'm no one's answering, because they're getting yelled at by this dude who I didn't even fucking know who he was. It wasn't his house. And then she's where are you? Where'd you go? And I was you need to come pick me up. I don't quite know where I am. So then everyone leaves and comes and picks me up, and there's 2 cars. Jackson and Sam are in one, and then Pedro and Jake, and then Claire and Maddie are in one, because Sarah stayed home. And yeah. And so I was fuck this. I go to Sam, I give him a hug, goodnight, because they left. And then I get into, it was Jake's car, I get into the car, and I'm bawling. And as I'm it was as I'm walking in the cars, Nick zooms past me again. He's get in the car, I'll drive you back. And I was no way am I getting back in the car with you. And so they drive us back to the car, And we like see this dude just like screaming at Sarah, like Sarah's crying in her bed, drunk as hell. And like it turns out it was like her brother's friend, and they just thought it was funny like to yell. And it was so ridiculous because Sarah was just sobbing. It was so creepy. Like we were like, what the fuck? We were all supposed to stay at Sarah's, and we're like what's going on now, because we're clearly not going to spend the night here. So we're like figuring shit out. We talked to her brother, who's like joking around with us, thinks it's hilarious.
Married and having a child.
That doesn't
fine.
fucking mean anything.
It does.
You don't. She's like an adult right now.
Really?
We could probably just show up to my house because everyone's asleep, so I'll just be like, we didn't want to stay there or something. Then we like pull out and we see the Jeep, like Jake's car, and we're like, we like pull up next to him. They're like, do you want to go to Sherry's or something? Like, what's up? Like, we don't want to go home. And I was like, yeah, neither do we. And so we all go to Sherry's. And like meanwhile, Nick's just like posting about me. He posted something and was like, I can't even believe I fuck with someone so crazy, blah blah blah. And meanwhile, like, I can be fucking crazy, but I did not do shit that night. I literally just like sat there and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And like meanwhile I'm at Sherry's and I'm like, what's going on? Like my phone's being blowing up. And then like one of Nick's best friends is friends with all the dudes with us, so their phones are blowing up and they're like, what? They're like being yelled at for hanging out with us. And I was like, bro, like, chill. And so we're at Sherry's, we all eat, and then Jake's like, we can go back and like hang out where I'm staying. It was at his friend's house, and who is also named Jake, but I'm not going to say the last name because technically nothing bad happened, but he's very anal. Their company is very anal about anything bad being publicized about them. So we go back to this house and we're like, where the fuck are we going? We had no clue who these people were. Like, we go to this house and like meanwhile it's probably like 2 a.m. And okay, so we like finally get to this house, baddest house we've ever been to. We're like, where the fuck are we? Oh, so rude. This person, you know, has a company that's very, very wealthy. Probably all of you know who I'm fucking talking about. So other Jake was asleep, like had no clue we're here. His parents asleep, had no clue we're there. We're like, what the fuck? But like this house is so fat that like they're not gonna know we're in one room. So so then we're like all just like hanging out for a really long time in the playroom. And then I was just like, yo, fuck this. Like, I need some attention. And so then like, it's like literally probably a good like 4 a.m. And so Maddie goes into one of the bedrooms and goes to sleep. Because the first Jake was like, yeah, his parents leave, or his dad leaves really early for work and won't know we're here, so you can just sleep here. And so she like goes to sleep, and then so Claire's talking to one of the kids, so they like go and hang out, and then like me and Jake number 1 go in the same room as Pedro and Claire, and then it just got really uncomfortable, and like we were just watching TV, like laying together, and I was like, this is so uncomfortable. So we go into a different room, and then we end up hooking up. And anyway, so yeah, we end up hooking up, and then like we like hear someone upstairs because it's like 5:30 in the morning, and then like Jake number 2 wakes up and was like, they need to leave, like blah 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 blah, my dad's gonna see them. And we were like, what? And so we all have to go. So then we're like, okay, we have to go. It's like 5:30 in the morning now, like 5:45. Where are we going to go? The sun's coming up, like what is happening? So we like go and we're like, okay, well, like what's open right now? And then like Claire needed gas, so we went to some gas station, and then there was a McDonald's there that was open, so we like got breakfast. We kind of like drove around for a little bit, and then I got home at 7:15 or something like that. Like I was like, hey. And I like told my parents, like, because Sarah has a farm, and so she always has to get up really early and do the chores, and I just was like, yeah, she like woke us up when she got up and none of us could go back to sleep, so we just went home. They believe me. Or so I think they did. I don't fucking know. And so we went home, and then like continuously I was just like bombarded by Nick, and then the next day Jake followed me on everything, and like 3 months later we started dating. Oh, but also 4 days after this night, Nick and Lucy started dating. So yeah. And then the next like 6 months of my life I was bullied by a 14-year-old who probably didn't even fucking have her period. So that's that story, you know, more to come. Yeah, good looks, we love it. Tune in for the rest. Also, if you're one of my close friends and can think of anything crazy that I've gone through, like I have like 2 other ideas, I'm pretty sure, but just like let me know, send those ideas my way, and I got you.